Hey everybody, welcome back. This is your captain speaking, Ron. I wanted to do a little different video today, just see if I could help somebody out there maybe save a few bucks. Since tomorrow is the time of use changeover, I thought maybe it'd be a good time to do a quick video on that. Here in Tucson, I think everywhere in the country, most cities all have a time of use plan. I never paid any attention to all of that, but it's got so expensive recently, I decided to do a little research on it, and I thought I'd just kind of share my journey with that with you. First, I thought I would show you uh, kind of my journey through this. This was let me click over to that. This was I've been tracking this since the early 90s, my electric bills. So going back to like the early 90s, it kind of bounced around a lot. I was paying 75, 80, whatever. I even had a couple of months here in 98 where it's 34 bucks, which, we're never seeing that again. So that was kind of my norm. And then I figured out that there was budget billing, which was very helpful. And it was 76 bucks a month back in 2000. Then, yeah, in 2001, it shifted to $62 a month, which seems crazy now. That's my budget billing. And then went up to 70. So it's kind of bouncing around a little bit. And then it jumped up quite a bit to 97. That's in 2004. So 20 years ago, it was at 97. Now, this is a house that's maybe 1,300 square feet. So it wasn't real big. It was just me and one roommate at the time. I didn't even have AC. I had swamp cooler, which was pretty bad. So I'm just kind of cruising along. Here we go. It hasn't changed. It actually goes down again in 2006. It went down to 85. Now I'm back down to 65 in 2007. 2008, it's $55 a month is what I'm paying. 2009, that's going all the way to 2010. And then I don't know what happened here. It jumped up to 103 at one point and then back down to 88. I'm still in that same house at this point. It goes down again to 65. And again, this is the budget billing, so it's usually for 6 to 8 months at least. So it's cruising along. It goes back up to 83. But again, I didn't care. It's just that's what you pay. It's my electrical cost. Now, at the end of that year, things changed. I ended up getting married, moved into a larger house, which is around 2,600 square feet, so quite a bit bigger. And at that point, it was in the hundreds every month. There was a couple of big ones, and then I finally got it switched back to budget billing. So it was about a 156 a month is where it started out, and that was in 2015. Which I remember thinking, okay, it's a big house and all that, so that's just what it's going to be. And then it kind of crept up. Here it got all the way to 204 at one point. So it was getting expensive, and right around this point, it went back down because we had a pool pump that went out, and it was the original one. It was a single speed and ate up a lot of electricity. We swapped it out with a multi-speed, and the guy doing it at the time told me, even though you're spending a lot of money for this pump, it's going to pay for itself probably within a year. And he was not wrong. It shaved a bunch off our bill because that was really the only thing we had changed for the most part. Electricity wise, we had three kids living with us, which are wasteful, and all that. But it nothing really had changed other than that, and it went way down. And so here I am in 2018. It went to 167, dropped down to 137, and even dropped down to 100 a month in 2019. And then we hit COVID, the COVID years, and I also had a relative living in my front yard for about 4 months. So it went up again, 163, 231. So we're sitting there at 2021. At this point, I'm still just dealing with it. It went to 181, and then it came back down to where it used to be, 115. And now we're in 2022. It even lowered all the way down to 100 at January of 2023. And then things started getting weird. I got a new shift. It went up $78, and our usage had not changed. Just the prices went crazy. And then I got another bill that said they were fixing to change it again, and it was going to be well over 200 again. And that's when I finally said, "Wait a minute, let me start looking into this whole situation." And so I called them. I started talking to them about it, TEP, and ultimately, what I found out was that there is a new plan that, in addition to the time of use, you could get on, which utilized the if you're on the time of use plan and you sign up for this specific plan. Let me go back to that page. Um, there it is, and over here, if you're on the actual plan and you're sticking to it, you're doing it during the right hours. Right now, we're getting ready to change from 3 to 7, and it's been 6 to 9 twice a day. Once we switch over, uh, you have to use your big offenders outside those hours, and if you do that, then you're cool. And right now, if you look at my TP bill last month, we're around 86%. So we've been around 90 before, but so we're a little off the last month. So that will save you even more money on top of the time of use. If you stay within the time of use, which is tricky. You got to work as a family to do that. It was really hard to get everybody to change their habits of just throwing laundry in whenever they want, doing dishes, just turning it on whenever. What you have available to you, most people will, because we've upgraded our appliances over the last several years. Everything has delays on it. So you can go right into the delays and just shoot it out for a couple of hours instead of starting it at 7 o'clock. Just delay it for 2 hours so it kicks on at 9, so that you're in the right time frame. And it's just that extra couple of seconds of doing those things that'll save you a ton of money. That same thing with your AC. What I do, like right now, we're going to be 3 to 7 starting tomorrow. So if we're going to when it's time to run the AC, we still haven't had to do that yet. But when we do, we will basically run the AC a couple hours before, get the temperature down a little lower than we would normally even have it. That way, when we hit 3 o'clock and it goes, our thermostat's set to just go up, excuse me, then I know it sounds confusing, but then from 3 to 7, it's set for a higher temperature. So it's already been cooler. So by the time we get to 7, it's starting to get kind of hot. But then, bam, the AC kicks back on. It lowers it back down. By the time we go to bed, we're good to go. And we actually keep around 78, and we're fine here. So that makes a big difference. That same thing with your washing machine, of course, the dishwasher. Those are the big offenders. If you can do that, and your pool pump as well. My pool pump, I set the hours outside of them as well. And then the fact that it's a dual speed now, so it only runs at high speed for about an hour or so, just enough to go around the pool once, and then it kicks into low speed. That saves you tons of money. 2,500 square foot house, we're paying on average right now, we're at 178, which, in this day and age, that's probably as good as I can get it. Also, one last little thing, I did pick up this item. It's a kilowatt usage monitor. You just plug it into whatever, like a toaster, whatever, and then you plug the toaster into this, and then you just leave it on for like a couple of days. This will tell you how much each individual device is using. So, and of course, the big offenders are anything that creates a lot of heat. And so you try to just use your stove and things like that. Try your best to use them outside. I grill more once it gets hot, get that heat, keep it outside, things like that. So there's a lot of little tips and tricks, but I mentioned this on Facebook a year or two ago that it was about that time. Don't forget. And I had so many people tell me they had no idea this was something that was even out there. So I thought I'd do a quick little video on it. Actually, it's not so quick now, I think. And just maybe it'll help other people as well, because it's helping us, and every little bit counts these days. So that's it. I think the last thing I'll say, I like to tie everything in with the Bible when I can. And Proverbs 21:20 says, "Precious treasure and oil are in a man's dwelling, but a foolish man devours it." So don't be a foolish man. Be a wise man. Protect your treasure and oil. All right, that's it. Captain Ron signing out. We'll catch you on the next video.